Are you suffering from spinal stenosis and you're looking for some exercises to help give you some relief? If you are, then this video has all of the information that you need. Hi everybody, my name is Will Harlow and I'm the Over-Fifties specialist physio here at HT Physio in Farnham. And today I'm going to be giving you the 3 best exercises for spinal stenosis. Now, before we dive into the content of today's video, if you haven't already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel using the button in the bottom right of this video, because you'll be the first to hear then about our new videos as soon as they come out. Now that that's been said, let's talk about spinal stenosis. Now, spinal stenosis is quite a common problem that typically affects people over the age of 65. It's predominantly a problem that affects seniors, and it's a problem to do with wear and tear, degeneration, or osteoarthritis in the lowest parts of the spine. So I've got my spinal model here, which is going to help me explain what spinal stenosis is. We'll talk about what it looks like. So this is the human spine. You can see that you've got the vertebra here, which are these white things. And in between the vertebra, you've got the intervertebral discs, which are like a tough sac of collagen fibers with a fluid center. At the back of the spine, you've got facet joints, which are the areas that join the bottom vertebra to the vertebra above, and so on and so forth, all the way up. So you've got 25 facet joints going up, and you've got the same number of discs in between the spine as well. Now, in these holes here, you can see these yellow things on the video, and these are your nerves. So the nerves split off from the spinal cord, and then they run through the pelvis and all the way down the leg. So you've got this nerve here, this nerve here, this nerve here, this nerve here, and this nerve here. They become either the sciatic nerve or the femoral nerve or the obturator nerve, lots of different nerves that go down into the legs. Now, if you look at the spaces here that these nerves come out of, and bearing in mind this is a normal young person's spine, the space is already quite small. Okay, so the nerves don't have that much leeway to begin with. And spinal stenosis is basically categorized by a narrowing of these spaces. So what causes them to narrow is a loss of water in the discs, which happens as we age. You can also get arthritis in the facet joints in the spine as well. You can also get the bones thickening as we get older. That's something else that happens too. And basically, all of the changes that happen as we get older cause these small spaces to get even smaller. So the word stenosis is from the Latin term stenose, which means to narrow. So basically, stenosis just means narrowing of the spaces in the spine where the nerves leave. Now, when this narrowing happens to a certain extent, the bones and the discs and all the areas around it will start to slowly compress these nerves as they exit the spine. And this can lead to pain, not just in the back, but down the legs as well. So a typical presentation of spinal stenosis will be someone who finds that they get leg pain, probably in both sides, as they walk. And it gets worse the further they walk, but it goes away when they sit down. And it also goes away when they do things like lean on a shopping trolley. And the reason this happens is because when we're upright, the longer we stay upright, the more the compression gets worse and the more that the nerves get trapped. And when we sit down or when we bend forward, the spaces in the spine open up to allow the nerves to almost breathe better, so they have more space. So when we're talking about spinal stenosis, those are the symptoms we look for. Those are why the symptoms happen. And that also helps us choose the right exercises to help to treat the symptoms. Now, the problem with spinal stenosis is we can't fix it. There's no cure for this condition. So anyone that has it basically has to manage the symptoms and ease them off with exercises and positioning as best as possible. Now, remember how I said when you sit down, the pain goes away, or when you bend forward, the pain goes away? All the exercises we choose today are going to involve either sitting or bending. So they should feel very comfortable. They should help the symptoms in your back and your legs, and they should relieve the pain when you do them. Anyway, that's the explanation for the exercises. Let's have a look at what these exercises actually are You can have a go at home. Make sure you get checked out by your healthcare provider before you give them a go. But once you've had the all clear, give them a try. If they feel good, they're probably going to help. So the first exercise that I recommend for people with spinal stenosis is called flexion in a chair. Now, what we said with spinal stenosis before is that sitting down usually helps to relieve the problem and bending forward usually helps to relieve the problem. So this exercise combines both of those movements. It's really simple to do, it's typically very safe, and for most people they find it does bring relief when they do it. So all you need for this is a chair. You want a nice sturdy chair, preferably a dining room chair or similar, and you're going to sit near towards the edge of the seat. Now the first thing you're going to do is just rest your hands on your knees, and then starting right from the top of the spine, starting from the neck, you're just going to bend forward. And as you bend, you're going to let your shoulders join, and then your mid back, and then finally your lower back is going to bend as well. And you're going to run your hands down your shins, down to your feet if you can reach them. And when you reach the bottom, you're just going to pause for a few seconds and try and relax into the movement. Once you've done that, you're going to bring yourself back up, slowly peeling yourself back up to the starting position. And that would be 1 repetition. So again, we start from the top, we wind ourselves down, nice and slow. And what this is doing is it's opening up all of those spaces in the spine, allowing the nerves room to breathe, and then letting the compression on those nerves ease off. So that's the first exercise for spinal stenosis. Now the second exercise for spinal stenosis is similar, but we're going to do this in a different position. So this time what we're going to do is we're going to find a blank bit of wall. We're going to lean against it. So what you've got is your feet probably about 1 foot away from the wall. You've got your bottom against the wall. You've got your shoulders against the wall, and you've got your head against the wall as well. We're going to have our hands on the front of our legs as well. And this time we're going to peel ourselves off the wall from the top. So your neck, then your shoulders, and then your back. And you're going to run your hands down your legs. And you're just going to pay attention to the point where your bottom feels like it starts to slide up the wall. So that happens for me about there. Now, when I get that sliding feeling, that's my cue to come back to the start. Now, when we do this exercise, what we're doing is we're training our lower back, we're training the spine to start to bend in the correct way. So we're starting to get every segment of the spine, every vertebra to move one by one by one by one. What this does is it loosens up the spine, it loosens up the facet joints, it opens up the space between the nerves, and that allows the nerves to breathe a bit better. It allows them to have more space, and it can provide relief. So to show you again, we start like this with the head on the wall. You peel your head and your neck off the wall, then your shoulders, and then the rest of your spine, bit by bit by bit, running your hands down, keep going. And then now I can feel my bottom start to slide, so I stop and I just reverse the movement. There's no need to go all the way down to the floor, because when you feel your bottom start to slide, that means the hips are starting to move instead. Again, you can repeat that 5 times in a row, and you can do that several times a day to bring you relief from spinal stenosis. Now, the third best exercise for spinal stenosis is a really nice one, which basically just relaxes all of the tight muscles in the lower spine. It helps to lubricate the movement of the lowest part of the spine. It frees up the nerves and basically just helps everything to move a bit better in the lower back. It's also really simple to do, and it should be comfortable. So you start lying on your back. You can do this on your bed at home, and you want your knees bent up probably about halfway, and you want your knees close together. All we're going to do, you can have your hands just clasped over your midriff like this, and you're just going to allow both of your knees to roll over in the same direction. Now you can see here that as my knees roll, my pelvis and my back starts to rotate. So you just take it to the maximum point that feels comfortable, and then you bring it back to the center, and then you allow them to fall in the opposite direction. You might find that one way is stiffer than the other. It really doesn't matter how far you go. Some people can only do this a couple of inches, and then it becomes painful. So we tell those people to stop at that point of pain and bring it back to the center before going the other way. But if you feel you can keep going, then just allow yourself to go right to the point of your natural end, and then stop and then come back to normal. Now, for most people, we recommend doing this about 15 times in each direction. Should take you about a minute. And then you can do that a couple of times a day whenever you have time to go and lie down. Because we're in this flex position, lying down with our knees up, that also helps to open up the spine, and it typically feels like a really nice exercise for most people with spinal stenosis. So give it a try and see how you get on. So those are the best 3 exercises for spinal stenosis. I hope you've enjoyed this video and that you've learned something from it. If you have, please leave a comment below and let us know whether or not this video was helpful. Anyway, that's all I've got for you today. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate your time. If you want more from me, you can feel free to pick up a copy of my book. It's called Thriving Beyond 50, and you can find it on Amazon using the link below this video. Anyway, that's all for today. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to speaking to you on the next one.